What is going on, y'all? Tech me out here, and in front of me I have the new Samsung Galaxy S21 and S21 Ultra. These are two of the latest Galaxy devices released from Samsung. All right, so what I want to do in this video is unbox these, give you my first impressions, set one of them up, and then we're gonna jump straight into what is on my Samsung Galaxy, either S21 or S21 Ultra. I still don't know which one I'm gonna set up first, but by the time I unbox these, I will. So of the three phones that were announced, this one's the smallest one, and it comes in at $799. Now there are a lot of similarities between this one and the S21 Plus, but let's get into this packaging because I will rant. And we will still be looking at this box 5 minutes into the video. So one thing off gate you'll notice is that it's a much smaller footprint here for the box, and we're gonna take a look inside and you'll see why if you don't already know. So, first thing, let's see. Ooh, I like that. So one thing off gate that I noticed is that we have a flat display and it just looks so good. The back of the device is still curved a bit, but let's get this plastic off so we can get a real, feel of it in hand. And big thank you as well to Samsung for sending these out a little bit early. So the color that we're looking at right now is Phantom Violet. S21 actually comes in about 4 other colors. Along the bottom we have our USB-C charging port. We have a little slot here, which is actually for a SIM card, as this doesn't have a micro SD card slot. And then along the right-hand side, you have your volume buttons as well as your power button. And yeah, that's gonna be it. But before we go any further, if you happen to be new here, just a quick overview of what I like to do on my channel is pretty much talk about all things in relation to technology. So if that is something you're interested in as well, feel free to hit that subscribe button and the like button if you feel inclined to. So beneath the phone here, let's see what we have. We actually just got a little box. And this box has our SIM tray ejector, and then inside of it, let's see, we got a USB-C charging cable. And that is it. That's all, folks. Pretty much why the packaging is smaller. We don't have the headphones, we don't have the charging brick. But a nice thing that Samsung did is that they priced the charging brick a little bit less than what it has been in the past. So that if you happen to need one, it's a little bit more affordable to actually, go and get one. I don't know, I'm not that upset about it, but maybe that's just me. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section, how you feel about the charging brick and the headphones being removed here. But this feels nice. The back isn't glass, it is plastic, but I like it because I feel like it's gonna reduce, the fingerprints that we typically would see on a glass back here. That just looks so good. It's so unique. I love the two-tone factor and how it spills from the aluminum sides here on into the camera. It just looks like it dripped into it. That looks so good. I love that. Now, in addition to that 6.2-inch display, we do have 3 cameras along the back. We also have the ability to record in 8K and also a new mode known as Director's View, which is going to let you preview and record all 3 camera angles at once, so you can easily switch between them as needed. But yeah, that's the S21 in a nutshell. Let's get into this S20 Ultra 5G. Now, we can expect the same packaging inside pretty much here. So let me just put the phone to the side and just double check. You don't, it's the exact same setup. Boom. So the Ultra, ooh, this black looks good. Oh, this is like a deep black. And it's interesting because in the keynote, they even talked about in depth how they got the black to be this shade of black. And yeah, this looks a lot better in person than I thought. Now, in comparison to the S21 and S21 Plus, the sides of the Ultra do spill over the edge a little bit on the front display. Now, in terms of the button layout, it is the same as on the S21 and S21 Plus. And along the back, we have 4 cameras. And in terms of the display here, it's 6.8 inches. Now, the camera configuration on the Ultra is gonna give you the best out of the lineup. And maybe it's just me, but every time I look at the black version of this, I wish that it had a gold border here for the camera. That would have been, oh my gosh, that would have looked so good. Now, don't get me wrong, it still looks good with this murdered out black right here, but if they had slapped a little bit of gold right there, oh my gosh, y'all, that would have set the bar. That would have made the phone look that much more premium. And I'm personally really interested to test these out, so stay tuned for that. But one of the new features to the Ultra is that you can actually use the S Pen with it. And although Samsung is releasing an S Pen that you can buy individually for this on January 29th, thankfully you can still use the S Pen that's included with your previous Note devices with this one. One thing that's like an initial concern of mine is like how this part of the phone is gonna feel in pressing in my palm like that over time as I'm using it, for extended use. So I'm gonna set this up off camera and then come back and dive into what I did to get the setup and what you're gonna see. right, so I've set up my phone, and this is what I came up with so far. I might change it, but so first thing first, on my lock screen, I'm running an app called Good Lock, or Good Luck, I think it's called. I don't know if I'm gonna keep it or not because it's not as stable as I would want it to be, but it looks so good. And then you can swipe up and access a couple of shortcuts so you don't have to unlock your phone. The cool thing about it is not only do you have a couple of widgets you can choose from, but you also can have something known as a mini home, which is gonna let you add things like your favorite apps or your notepad that you wanna quickly access, or your contacts in which you wanna quickly access. So it's really useful, but it's just not as fluid as I would like it to be in order for me to keep it up here forever. But maybe it's user error, I don't know. We'll find out. But moving on into my home screen setup here. So I was really torn because I was debating keeping the stock launcher up here, but at the end of it all, I decided to go with Nova Launcher, at least for now. I do have the Pro version. I just love the features and things that you get with it. So up here at the top, I have my KWGT widget. So this colorful widget that you see here comes from a widget pack known as Watermelon. And then beneath that one, I have another widget, and I can't think of the name of it, but I'm gonna throw it up in the video so that you'll know. And then moving on beyond that, I have this gorgeous wallpaper. I got this from a wallpaper app called, what was it, Wall of Fame. And in this wallpaper app, they just have a ton of nice wallpapers. So I favorited a couple, and I ended up going with this one. I really love stargazing and things centered around planets, so that fit perfectly for me. Now for my icon pack down here, I'm using one of my favorites, which is known as Nexa Icon Pack. And it just has tons and tons of different icons in which you can use. So starting here on the left, I'm using Outlook for my email client. I just recently got into that. But before I was using that, I was using Spark, but I really like the features of Outlook. So one thing I really like is that I have this filtered view, so I can focus on the emails that are the most important to me. And then in the other section, it'll have emails that are considered like newsletters or coupons and things like that. And the search option is even nice because it lets me see my contacts all at a glance, or I can see my upcoming packages that are on the way, and even quickly see my most recent attachment, and just so much more. But I can say so far, I'm enjoying it. And then next to that, I have Google Maps. That is my navigation service of choice. Then I have my camera app, Google Chrome, Notion. Notion is another app that I recently got into, and it is kind of like a database entry note-taking app. It's pretty much as advanced as you make it, but I love the fact that you can like link your databases, which to me are like pages within Notion, to other pages within Notion. So for example, I'm reorganizing my office and I had to make an IKEA run and just kind of map out what I want the room to look like. So I have a page in here called Office Organization, and I was able to add like all the items that I need to pick up. And one thing I was considering is different options for storage on my wall. So I was getting the Calyx unit, and I just needed to map out like just different ways it could look. So I have pictures of that in here, but I mapped out a couple of things in here so far. Like I said though, I'm still learning it, so I don't want to dive too deep into that. Now moving down here, I do have my second row of applications. I did disable my dock, but starting from the left, I have my phone, Amazon, because you know we gotta have Amazon up here. I have my files, application, gallery, and then my social folder. So in here I have Talon, which is my Twitter client of choice. I'm also checking out this app called Preview. I'm trying to do better with posting on Instagram. I tend to post to my Instagram stories more than my feeds. If you want to follow me up there and see my progress on doing that, my name up there is TechMeOut, TechMe0UT. And then next to that, I have an application which I'm going to be using for my Instagram stories. It gives you a ton of different options to kind of take your stories to that next level. So you have all these different layouts in which you can choose from. And basically when you select it, you can come in here and configure it the way that you want it to be, and then save it, take it over to Instagram, and post something that looks a little bit better than it possibly would have without this. Now moving on to my second page. At the top here, I have a clock widget so I can know what time it is in different time zones. Beneath that, I have the calendar widget, which is giving me my week view. And then I have Pandora below that. For the most part, I've always been between Spotify and Apple Music. But something that I started to notice is that when I would tell it to create a station on either platform, it was playing the same music. Like it wasn't giving me new music. So I checked out Pandora and I've been a bit happier with that. So right now, that is pretty much my music streaming service that I go to the most. Then beneath that, I have ASOS. I love shopping on ASOS. I've been heavy on ASOS these past couple of months. But then moving on from that, I have Microsoft OneNote. That's what I was using before I jumped into Notion, and I'm not gonna retire OneNote. I'm gonna still use it because in using Outlook, there is a feature in there in which you can send an email to OneNote, and I like that. Next to OneNote, I have Flux. This is what I use for my weather, and I just love the interface. It just looks so clean and minimal, and it gives me all the information in which I need. For me, I just love the layout. And then next to Flux, I have Route. That's what I use to track my packages. The cool thing about Route though is that it syncs with your email, so you don't even have to input the tracking information because it grabs it for you. And on top of that, it'll have a thumbnail image of what you ordered, but it keeps me up to date with all the packages that are on their way here. And you can see where the items are on the map as they make their way to you. But again, just like Flux, the interface here looks great. Now sliding on over to my third page, this one's a lot more simpler. I have a calendar widget up here known as Month, and then beneath that I have my task app, which is To Do, and then beneath that I have my Shazam widget so that I can just tap here and it'll start listening to identify the song that's playing. And I know that there's also a Shazam button in my little quick panel here, but it's just as easy to come here and tap it. Now, when I slide in over here and look at my Edge drawer, I do have a couple of applications over here as well, but those are like the main apps that I use. I am going to show my app drawer as well, and you can just pause as necessary to look through here and look at some of the other apps that I have installed. Now, I'm not going to dive into all of these, but at a quick glance here, like Screen On, I'm actually using that right now so that my screen will stay on as I'm filming it. And if you follow the channel, you know I love a good wallpaper, so I have a ton of wallpaper apps in here, so you can just take a look at that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one, y'all. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to throw on screen right now some other videos you can feel free to check out. But until the next one, y'all, as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.